Palembang. Andin. Andin. Okay. Nabila. By the way, my friend from Bulungan, her name is Andin. Maybe this is the famous name there, isn't it? Yeah, the popular name in North Borneo, Andin or Andini. Do you have friend that they have the same names with you? Yes. Oh, all right. Oh, Andin. Andin. Marga from where? Oh, okay. Andin. Same as in my region. Andin is the Marga from Kingdom. One of the, is it? Yeah. Same as in my region. I'm from Banjarmasin. So you are the original Bulungan, native speaker of Bulungan. You are. Okay. Not the comers, maybe from Java or from Sulawesi. No. Okay. Do you know Bulungan tragedy in 1965? The history? Bulungan tragedy when the army attacked the Bulungan Sultan Bulungan and Kingdom. Do you know the history? You don't comprehend in detail. Yeah. Okay, Nabila, from where? Palembang. From which, where SMA? SMA? Palembang. So, you are living in city of Palembang. Oh, we have all the students online. Okay, so can they hear my voice? Not yet. Maybe you can share the Zoom link and then I use it to join. Oh, there are. Huh? So I have to speak here. Okay, all right. Here. So can you hear my voice in your computer now? Hello. Test. Okay, next one.
My name is
Andini. Andi from South Sulawesi. And Andi is Marga. All right. Diva. All right. Konita, Andin, Nabila, TKT48. No, okay. Diva, okay, next one. From which SMA? SMA Negeri 1? Bulukumba. Oh, you are in Bulukumba. All right. Bulukumba, is the real bulu like bulu and no. It has different means, yeah? Different meaning. Okay, next. Farah, okay, Farah. Oh, Jogja. From her senior high school. Negeri 7, where it is?
recording in progress.
Jogteng. Oh, sorry. Jogteng. East, west, south, north. 7. I think in the south, yeah, in the south one. All right. Farah, Konita, Andin, Nabila, Diva, Farah, and next. Okay. And you, Fitra. From where, Fitra? Oh, Bengkulu. All right. Yeah. From which? Where is SMA? Look. How you come up from Bengkulu to Yogyakarta, Biro Brajan ya. Why you don't you didn't join in the SMA 3 or Muha Muhi? Kecepatan. What do you mean? And you register and then get the acceptance and then registration soon. Okay. All right. Okay, next. Fitra Muhammad Hisham. Hisham, all right. Oh, Cirebon, all right. Okay. Okay. Nusantara FC now, yeah. Okay. From where? Senior high school? Ashifa boarding school. And where? Cirebon. Subang, oh, Jawa Barat, Bandung, yeah. All right. I like the climate in Subang, yeah. Oh, all right. All right. Actually, I can share my screen, yeah. So I can use my screen to present my material today to you. Here. All right. Let me minimize this first. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Salatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Thank you very much for your attendance. First of all, actually, I hope we will have foreigner student here. I heard from Palestine. For the next session after this, yeah, and the lunch. Okay, all right, doesn't matter. So in this session, I would like to share with you regarding the village reform that is influencing the governance and government practices within the village government. So I label my presentation as positioning village to be autonomy government institutions. Will it benefit country development and accounting perspective? All right. So this is the background of the village reform. We call it as the law number 6, yeah, of 2014 concerning village in Indonesia. Actually, like present. Yeah. Okay. Previously, we have a philosophy as development village. Develop village or philosophy, and now the government changed the philosophy to develop the village. We call it as the village develops. From these different words, can you think or reflecting what is the difference between the two words? Develop a village and village develops. Honita first. What is the difference? The difference is the order of the words. Develop is the first and then followed by village. For the second word, the village in the first and then followed by develops. But can you imagine the difference or comprehend from these different words? Okay, last question. Farah, what is the difference based on your opinion? Oh, all right. Okay, it's not wrong, but it's not quite correct. All right, so the difference is in the terms of the subject or object. And the first word, maybe you can guess. The village will be as a subject or object. In the first word, the central government positioning the village as the object of the development. So it means that
the village people just be a passive party, right? They just are waiting for any giving from the central government. Are you living in village or in city? Oh, you are in city, not like me. I'm villager. I'm villager before, and in the previous period, the government only gave something to the village, and after that, the villagers become a passive party, and then just waiting for, not independent. They don't want to explore their ability, their potential to enhance their development. Actually, this is same as you. If you put your position as the object of learning, you cannot get the optimum achievement. But if you change your philosophy to be a subject of the learning, you looking for all the materials, even though the lecturer do not ask you, you become a subject of the learning. So, and then you can encourage yourself to get better achievement, isn't it? Yeah. And the second phrase, village develops, mean that the village becomes a subject of the development itself. It means the village develops, do something. Yeah. The village is not necessarily waiting for any help, any giving from the government, I mean the central government or the regency government, but they try to explore their potential, as you can see in Yogyakarta. For example, have you visited hutan pinus? Not yet. What are you doing here? Konita? Not yet. Okay. After this, yeah, just utilize your leisure time. Yeah. Rame-rame. Going to apa tadi saya bilang? Hutan pinus. And then Nanggulan. You know Nanggulan kopi ingkar janji. Kopi munafik ya. Some of them are the village actually. I mean the village government, they establish a BUMDes, will be presenting further by Pak Rudi by tomorrow maybe. Previous presentation. Pak Rudi udah? Belum, after my session ya. The day after tomorrow maybe. They establish BUMDes, they become active party to develop their destiny. Yeah, they don't just asking for help from the central government, province, or regency or city. No, they explore, they investigate their potential. For example, whether the village is they have potential in terms of tourism, like in Yogyakarta, in Bali, right? Or maybe the village can become independent village in terms of agriculture and so on and so forth. Yeah. So this is the different philosophy, because everyone, every institution, they will behave based on their philosophy of life. For example, we as a Muslim, right? So we have on the Islamic guidelines, right? So in addition to religion aspect, we believe other values in terms of the philosophy in development. You need to put you as a subject, not as an object. Okay? Because based on the Kementerian Keuangan, they claim that the growth of the village, yeah, can help the national economy, to encourage national economy. So the philosophy is like this. If the village is independent, so the regency is independent. If the regency is independent, not dependent on other regencies, they can become swadaya, swasembada, swakarya, so they can get their welfare, village independent, so regency independent, province independent. If the province independent, so our country become independent. We have to grateful to our country actually. Nowadays, actually, the crisis of economics and energy have attacked the world, but Indonesia still don't feel it, yeah, because many of our region still independent. But I don't know in other areas, yeah. But in Jogja, maybe so. It's why our inflation is relatively controllable. If you visit Singapore, Malaysia, now the price of ayam potong it's very expensive. And when I still in Malaysia, if we want to get a lunch, we have to pay, for example, 4 or 5 ringgits. Now you have to pay 7 ringgits, almost twice the fault. Yeah. Lipatannya. So this is the importance of the philosophy. And then this is the arguments that underlie the birth of law number 6 year 2014 regarding village, or I mentioned it as the village governments. Yeah, historical, sociological, conceptual, philosophical, physical, political, and juridical argument. So I will not explain all. I just mention some maybe. For example, first, historical. All local communities in Indonesia have strong local wisdom. I believe it. You, Andin, in Kalimantan, they have own culture, right? In South Sulawesi, in Bengkulu, in Cirebon. And if we talk about Indonesia, which one the first, desa or Indonesia? Desa, village, yeah, that exists earlier, isn't it? So our local community in Indonesia have strong local wisdom that contain the spirit of adequacy, balance, and sustainability, especially in managing natural resources and population. Actually, Indonesia is starting to go to the broken home. It is due to the revolution of industry. Yeah. Actually, if we don't have car, can the life will be go better? Yes, maybe. Yeah, there is no externalities or pollution. We can live happy. Our ancient mother, for example, they are happy with such condition. Yeah, but after the revolution industrial, so the people think more. The people they are dissatisfaction with the current condition. So they try to improve the welfare according to the Western people. But actually, Indonesian people, they have own philosophy. Yeah. If you don't use iPhone, you are not cool. It is about the philosophy. If you don't use MacBook, it's not great. But by the way, I use MacBook. Yeah. But it's not about the gengsi or but the usefulness and so on. Yeah. And from juridical argument, I cannot read it. Before the governance exists, the village first exists. Conceptual philosophies. Therefore, the village shall be the foundation and part of the governance arrangement afterward. And like in my hometown village, previously we have clean river, yeah, sungai. But the government still provide clean water. But actually we have clean river. Some of people, they consume the water from the river. But the governments, they were providing clean water, But actually, it's not a need for the people, but it's about the project. You know, because the government will get some money from the project, isn't it? With the markup. Yeah, don't try at home. Yeah, to do markup. And then after that, what is the impact? The impact is the people do not consider the river and feel dinenak bubukkan sama pemerintah. And so after that, they don't take care of the river. And after that, the river now is very dirty. We cannot consume anymore. Yeah. So sometimes the drawback of the government policy is influencing the sustainability in the village. But actually, if the government, they don't provide the clean water due to the project, instead, the government empower the people to keep clean the river, maybe the river will be still better after until now. Yeah. So before the Indonesia independence, the village has give and provides food, beverage, I mean the resources to the city, to the village, and the people can live in the welfare. Yeah. In the very good condition actually. But after Indonesia independence, yeah, in the city we can the modernity, but in the village they face many problems there, and the people is triggered to have a dream getting work in the city, isn't it? It is actually not I mean not good situation. Yeah. But now, after the government changed the philosophy, I meet many people from university like you after graduation, they come back to the village to develop the village. In my era, we don't have any dream to be a worker in the village. As an accountant, I want to get my job in the company. It seems cool, right? It seems luxury, and so on and so forth. But now in the village, we can meet many people care about the sustainability in the village. So after this village reform, I would say some benefit and some good condition in Indonesia is getting more. Yeah, until now, Alhamdulillah. So this is the village categories. Yeah, the first one is underdeveloped village, as you can see in the screen. And the above picture, an underdeveloped village is a village whose people are very dependent on natural condition, poor in education. It's not only in terms of formal education, yeah, but informal education. For example, if the awareness of villagers is poor in terms of membuang sampah sembarangan, so actually this is underdeveloped village. And we can see many villages are categorized as this, isn't it? Until now. And after that, the second level is swakarya, or self-developing village. Villages that are experiencing a transition, yeah, from self-supporting to be self-subsistent or self-sufficient village, swakarya. And then swasembada, like Sleman, swasembada. Maybe you can you have already seen in the street, yeah, usually swasembada. A village host community has been able to utilize and develop natural resources and their potential in accordance with regional development activities. So there is an alignment between the Regency development program and the village development program, and they can realize that planning from the Regency until to the village level. And the last one is swadaya, self-subsistent or self-sufficient. A village that has some potential and those are managed as well as possible, and they can realize to manage and then can get more revenue for the village. Many villages have reached this position. Yeah, in village ministry they make, we call it as village index desa membangun, IDM. As you can see here, actually we can also see the data, yeah, by exploring this website. You can find how many the village that already in the level of advance, maju, or developing, or independence. Yeah, you can see here. Right, I'll go back to my presentation. And then this is the positioning village government then and now. And the and the left side, this is the position of the Indonesian government structure hierarchy. Yeah, in the old era, central government is represented by ministry, and then in below we can see the province, local government level 1. Level 1, and then local government level 2, Regency. Yeah, but now we have the third local government, that is village. Yeah, what are the differences among between these two frameworks? It means that the village government now, they reserve to get central budget from the central government. It's around 1 billion per year. Yeah, 1 billion per year. If maybe you have ever heard satu desa 1 miliar. Yeah, this is the program from the village government reform. Yeah, the village also is given the independence and autonomy to manage the budget. In the previous one, the village only as the arms of the district, kecamatan. So the mechanism is like this: Regency gave some budget to district, kecamatan, and then the district will be allocating the budget to the village. Whether the village is asked about accountability, the answer is no. So if you are lurah or head village at the time, if you get the money, you do not need to make reporting or accountability and transparency. You do not need to collect the participation from the villagers to determine something. For example, village development program. No, you can do as you want if you are lurah or head village. Even in my region in South Kalimantan, in the village, they have many stemples, many stamps. You know what I mean? For example, if they want to make a reporting and make some document, for example, invoice, they make by themselves. They make by themselves the document and then signing stamps. It's like this. And then the head village will take the money for the self-interest. So this is one of the kind of corruption occurred in the old era. Yeah. but the program is not running actually. Yeah. But now the village, they have to obey the governance regulation for the village government now. Let's see. All right, this is the goals of village reform. Yeah, quite many. Yeah. The first, giving recognition and respect for the existing village with its diversity. Yeah, previously the central government doesn't give this. Yeah. And then provide clarity on the status and the legal certainty of villagers and the constitutional systems. It means that the regulation that is made by the village government is legal in the law system. Yeah, now. And the previous maybe no. Yeah, because we have to refer to the central government regulation. But now, if the village they have hukum adat or local wisdom regulation, so this law is legal, dan pengadilan itu bisa menggunakan itu ya, to make decision about some cases. And then preserving and advancing the custom, tradition, and culture of the village community. So all of the goals is actually in line with the SDGs. You know SDGs? Yeah, sustainability development goals. Yeah. So desa tanpa kemiskinan for number 1. It relates with the poverty relief. Yeah. And then desa tanpa kelaparan. It's quite the same. Desa sehat, and so on and so forth. So now this desa or village can determine what program that become their priority. They don't always depend on the regency government. They can determine it, determining the priority that they want to establish. And this is the positive impact of village development after the village reform. Village reform have increased opportunity for improving the economy of the village community, as seen from the data on the side, on the left side. Yeah. For example, for income per capita, yeah, the welfare in rural communities, the number is getting higher, as you can see here, yeah, from 2015 until 18. Meanwhile, in contrast, we can see the poverty and unemployment atau pengangguran, the number is getting lower, declining every year. So this is actually the positive impact that you can see. Yeah. Why the economy can be higher and the poverty employment can be mitigated? It is because by using autonomy of the village, they can determine the priority, as I mentioned before. Yeah, so they can build up the infrastructure that can support the village economy. In the previous one, if we want to repair the road, yeah, it depends on the district. District depend on the regency, isn't it? Yeah, we can do self-construction for road, for example, or bridge or building. Now we can do as a village because the village have autonomy now. So now the village can constructing more than 150,000 kilometers road, and then bridge, market in village. They now have own market in village until the sport facilities. All of this is contributing to encourage the economy situation in the village. For example, if you want to distribute your product, you need a car, but the car needs a road, isn't it? So if you want to distribute smoothly from the village to the city, you have to establish your road to be soft to be smooth, good, isn't it? If you don't have the access due to the river, you have to establish bridge. Now, by using village fund that is given by the central government, 1 billion 1 year, they can establish it. So it trigger the economy increase, yeah, in the village. Even more than 8,000 underdeveloped village have increased status from 2015 until 17. And this is the data. Yeah. Independence, advanced or developing, underdeveloped, extremely underdeveloped. You can see here, most of the village now in the developing. In the previous period, most of the village is in the underdeveloped. Now they are in the developing status. This is the not the progress that we have to grateful, yeah. But of course, the village government reform, they also bring negative impact. Yeah. For number one, of course, the corruption, because the village head surprise, yeah, they get a huge of money. So the head of village then use the budget to fulfill the self-interest, buying a car, buying a house, land, and so on. It's why maybe you hear in mass media or in the social media, many village heads are in the jail now, isn't it? Because their psychological is not ready. It's not ready to get a huge of money. And then inefficiency. Inefficiency. Why inefficiency occur in the village? The answer is because of the poor education background. In my research, I found that most of the village officials graduated only from senior high school. Yeah, but after the village government reform, yeah, we can see that several people from the university after graduation, they join to the village government. Yeah, and then it can trigger the good development in the village. But before it, the village government, most of them are from the senior high school. What is the drawback? The drawback is they cannot comprehend how to manage the village government new philosophy with the new paradigm. Yeah, because of their limited bounded rationality. We call it as the bounded rationality. Only from even many of them are elementary high school. Understand about strategic planning. Even some of my students, they don't understand. It's already right. This one graduated from senior high school. They very tough to comprehend, to understand how to make a strategic planning, management strategy, reporting, and so on and so forth. It's why inefficiency become a problem in the village, in the transition, yeah, after the village government reform. And then inequality. Inequality means there is something, it's not fair. The funding the people who support him as a village head in the election. You know, something like now, for example, the governor only give help or charity to party that support him as a governor. Sometimes this kind of situation, yeah, hit village respect to the supporter, and for the opponent and then opposition, they don't care about them. So this is only better because then it's also in contrast with Pancasila, ya, keadilan sosial bagi seluruh rakyat Indonesia, isn't it? So, and number 4, the problem is about the hegemonic power. If the village head is too strong, so they have strong power to determine this and this. So after that, the cannot be implemented in the villages. For example, if you had a village, if you want to regulation to review the budget first, before we realize the budget, using this too strong power, the village head still can realize the budget, yeah, by, for example, force the bapak or ibu carik, you have to sign this because this is one for blah 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 blah. Actually, but it's not in line with the plan, for example. But the too strong hegemonic power in the village, they can use it for the badness. Yeah. And then for democracy, actually, this is also related to the inequality. Yeah. Sometimes when the village had election, so by the way, the village election is like in the government election and presidential election. So directly, the people elect the candidate in one day election. Yeah. So money politics is also occurred in the village now. Yeah. They pay you 100,000 and ask, please elect me. And then after that, the village head will forget you. Such situation also happening in now. To mitigate such drawbacks, yeah, corruption and so forth. So actually, the government regulation that is exercising the effectiveness of village government administration, yeah, accelerate the improvement of the welfare of rural communities, and so on and so forth. And then to reach the goals and objective, so this is the rule of accounting. Yeah, the first, every organization, yeah, the organization has management, governance, and accounting issues within the organization, because the organizations, they have management process, isn't it? Especially the strategic planning. For example, here in the village government, yeah, before the government is running the program, they have to propose or develop vision and mission. Yeah, vision and mission, and then they need to determine the evaluation and control system. Yeah, why? Because people in every organization, maybe they don't work for the organization objective. Maybe they work for their self-interest, like me. Why I work in Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta? Due to a money, yeah, because I want to get salary, isn't it? And sometimes I don't care. What is the objective of the UMY? Some people may be thinking like that. In the village, it's the same. Yeah. So we need to arrange the evaluation and control system to promote goal congruence within the organization. What is the goal congruence? The alignment between organizational objective and individual objective. Individual objective refer to the employee objective within the organization. How to make the lecturer in this university doing something that is in line with the objective of the university. And then strategy implementation, strategy formulation, establishing objective. This is the concept about the strategic planning. In addition to it, we also need to consider good governance principle, accountability, transparency, responsiveness. Yeah, if the management talking about the FOAC, planning, organizing, activating, controlling, yeah, and strategy, so the governance is talking about the value, yeah, the values that the organization have to adopt for. Yeah. In this case, is accountability, transparency, responsiveness, consensus oriented, and so on and so forth. Why? Because if, for example, if this university, they don't implement accountability, for example, the lecturer, they come to the class as they want. Is it okay? Not okay, yeah? Because you have to pay tuition fee. That is very expensive, right? And of course, you want to, the lecturer come to the class regularly according to the schedule has been made, isn't it? And then after that, after the course, the lecturer give you a score. And if the score is not satisfying, you can ask to the lecturer. It means that transparency and accountability. If you ask something to the lecturer regarding the subject, the lecturer need to respond you as soon as possible. Also for service quality, if you need the transcript, for example, and you ask to the office, and then the office give you the transcript as soon as possible. Maybe they have SOP, 1 day, 1 service, for example. It is this responsiveness, isn't it? So the good organization should implement good governance principle, as well as in village government. Yeah. Why? Because it will relate to the public trust, viability, sustainability. If the university don't give you a good governance, for example, responsiveness, maybe you will say to your college, don't enter to University of Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta lah. Yeah. They don't responsive in giving service quality, for example. Yeah. So it will threat the viability of this university. Yeah. After that, the prospective student then change their reference. Don't enter to UMY and then enter to UII, UMM, UMS, and so on. So the good governance is very important. And then, where is the counting issue? When we talk about the planning, at the same time, we need to prepare the budgeting, isn't it? Planning is equal with budgeting, and budgeting is a subject of management accounting. Yeah, management accounting, and then management control system. Previously, I talked about the goal congruence, the alignment between the objective of employee with the organization. This issue is taught in the management control system subject. Have you learned about it, the subject, or maybe in the next semester? Yeah. Management control system means that after we determine the planning and budgeting, we have to control the employee behavior within the organization, make them pursuing to the objective of the organization. Maybe we can give the incentive, punishment, or role model by showing the good or ethical leadership. Yeah, maybe the employee or the subordinate will follow the leader, the good leader, and then the situation in the organization will be going well. Performance measurement and management. We need to formulate the policy of performance measurement and management. This is also the subject of management accounting. Yeah, management accounting. And the last is evaluation and controlling. This is the subject of auditing and financial accounting. So in the village government, this kind of issues are also the crucial topics that unfortunately in many village government, they still face a problem about these issues. Yeah. Why? As I mentioned before, due to the poor, well-educated employee there. Yeah. Because most of the village government officials graduated from senior high school. Meanwhile, to implement, to manage, to govern the village government now, with the huge of budget, we need advanced knowledge that is provided, that is learned in the university level, even in the master level. Yeah, it's why actually the government very they do hope that the university students after graduation want to help the village government to improve their performance, government, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So actually, the village government now become your new area as PNS. Yeah. Maybe I want to be a PNS. The village government, they open the requirement, the recruitment, yeah, the vacancy for that. And then if we talk about accounting, the major issue is about budgeting, yeah, in the public sector accounting. And in general, the budgeting is divided into two: revenue, expense, isn't it? Just simple, yeah. But after that, you have to breaking down it to be more detailed. For revenue, in the village government, they have several sources. The first, allocation of the state revenue and expenditure budget from the central government. We call it as Dana Desa, DD, Dana Desa, village fund. Village fund. And the second part of the result of regional taxes and retribution for district and municipalities. Yeah, this is like bagi hasil. Yeah, bagi hasil of the regional taxes and retribution like parking, market, and so on. Allocation of village fund, which are part of the balancing fund received by district and city. This is actually regency in city. We call it as alokasi dana desa, ADD. So there is DD, dana desa from central government. There is ADD, alokasi dana desa, yeah, from regency or province. But this is not compulsory actually. I mean, the village is not necessarily getting this fund. It depends on the regency, depend on the readiness of the village. When the village can get this money, for example, dana desa, if the village has fulfilled the requirement applied by central government, one of them is strategic planning document. So the village can get the 1 billion 1 year if they can prepare good strategic planning document. If no, the central government will not give you the budget 1 billion. Yeah. So if why many villages in Papua they don't get the money, all right? And again, if you want to prepare the strategic planning document, if you are from senior high school, I'm not sure you can do that. Even if you graduation from accounting department, it depends on you as a student. If you're an object and then there is no lecturer that teach you about that, so you don't understand about that. Yeah. But after this, you remember Pak Hafiz voice, Pak Hafiz advice, or just learn many things about accounting issue without any instruction from the lecturer. So you learn about that after this, even though the subject is not provided in the curriculum, so you will understand about that. You can help the village. And then other legitimate income. And for expense, there are only 3 government administrations. Yeah. For the administration, daily administration, we need to pay salary, for example, for the employment. We have to buy paper, pen, and so on and so forth. The equipment of the office. Yeah. And then development and construction. The expense also is used to development and construction like buildings, road, bridge and energies. Yeah. And then the last one is financing or pembiayaan. For example, give a loan to other parties and so on. The question is how to make this effective, efficient, economist, and safe from corruption. That is responsible for the accountant. That is your job. Yeah, that is your job. So it's why village government ministry, Ministry of Village and remote area, they do hope many accountants are recruited in the village government to help. So in specific accounting issues within the village government can be seen in the planning, execution and controlling, monitoring and evaluation. Today we only highlight in the planning. For the planning activities within the village government, the village have to implement participative budgeting and performance-based budgeting. Have you ever heard about the performance-based budgeting and the management accounting? Have you learned about management accounting? Yes. You must be learning about the performance-based budgeting, isn't it? No? No? What are that you learn in management accounting? Performance-based budgeting. You have to learn about that, yeah, because this is very important, yeah. And then participative budgeting. Then you learn it also, yeah. Participative budgeting. Participative. Do you know about that? Have you heard about that? And the management accounting, I think the management accounting, they talk about that. Yeah. Okay. If you forget, maybe you forget, yeah. Just learn about it. Yeah. That is the core point of the management accounting, is about the cost and budgeting. Cost and budgeting. All right. So you can see actually this is the management accounting rule, yeah. Planning, budgeting, and forecasting, decision analysis, cost management, and so on and so forth. You have to learn about that. Yeah? And in this phase, the participation should be implemented. Why? We can talk about it after this. And then in the execution and controlling, the accounting issue is related to management control system, internal control, and performance measurement system. You also have to comprehend these 3 issues. Yeah. because most of the accountant or most of the accounting student after graduate, it will be joining in the university and the companies, and then handle about this issue: internal control, auditing, yeah, safeguarding asset, and so on. And then the last is about the reporting, auditing, and quality assurance. Quality assurance is also one of the subject of management accounting. Yeah, it's not only taught in the education discipline or the industrial engineering. No, accounting also talk about that. Quality assurance. Why? Because if the quality is poor, maybe it will influencing the marketing. People will dissatisfied with our product. So we need to consider the quality assurance. Reporting, of course, the major of accounting is actually about the reporting. Maybe when you still in IPS, are you from IPS? IPS. When you learn about the accounting, it must be financial accounting, right? It's about journal entry, right? But actually, accounting is not only about reporting. Accounting is about budgeting, auditing, internal control, performance measurement. That these are not talking about journal entry. Yeah. It's not talking about balancing of financial report. No, they don't talk about that. They talk about how to safeguard asset, how to make the budget is efficient, economic, outcome, and so on and so forth. Yeah, reporting. But to do that, we need a reporting. Reporting, there are two kinds: internal reporting and external reporting. If you want to do external reporting, you have to obey IFRS, right? International Financial Reporting Standards. But for internal decision making, you have to do internal reporting without any standards. It depends on the own regulation applied by the organization. Yeah. And auditing, internal audit, external audit are responsible for the accountant. If you want to getting a job in the accounting financial firm, accounting firm, an accounting firm as the auditor, yeah, or as internal auditor, you have to understand about the internal control, about the reporting, about the budgeting. Yeah. So this is the element of accounting issue within the village government now. Financial performance, financial position, changes in the words, cash flows, financial information, this kind of the reporting issue. But the performance information and general purpose financial report, the management accounting is also involved in this issue, including sustainability accounting. Have you heard about sustainability accounting? In the ISSAF, they talk about that. Yeah. So now, because of many stakeholders, especially in the village government, we don't only focus on the financial performance, but also sustainability performance. Yeah. This is the concept of participative budgeting. Yeah, as you can see in the screen. Yeah, it is a method of budgeting wherein both the people who implement the budget and who will be affected by the budget are involved in the process of budget creation. It means that, for example, the management, they will determine your key performance indicator and will give you a budget to execute a program. Yeah, and then to get optimum achievement, the parties or the subordinate that who will use the budget are involved in formulating the budget every year. Yeah, as you can see in the screen, the senior management involve the department ABC to determining the planning and also the cost. Yeah, and then the senior management approve and then giving a funding. But of course, there are advantages and disadvantages of this approach. Yeah, the advantages boost the morale of employee. For example, if I involve you to make something, for example, what is our dinner today? What is our dinner today? And then, for example, I will accommodate the Amel suggestion. Amel say, nasi goreng Pak. Okay, Mel bikin nasi goreng. For example, and then because the nasi goreng is aspiration from you, and I instruct you to make it, you must be making the nasi goreng as best as possible, isn't it? Because that is based on your suggestion. This is the concept of participative budgeting. If we invite the subordinate to participate in budgeting, and then we accommodate their opinion, so the subordinate will be triggered to achieve better performance because they have a responsibility or moral of employees. Oh, my boss accommodate my opinion, so I will give the better, right? Employee more accountable. Yeah. Job satisfaction. Maybe you will be satisfied with this kind of policy. Yeah, you are happy because your opinion is accommodated by the senior management. Yeah, you will be honored about the participative budgeting, increase their productivity and so forth, but disadvantages are also there, namely time consuming because we need a meeting to discuss, high labor costs because we involve many people and then we give a consumption for meeting, we give incentive for coming and so on and so forth. Yeah, so there are advantages. Budgetary slack, maybe you can ask your lecturer about the budgetary slack in the management in management control system subject. Yeah, you can ask about what is the budgetary slack, or maybe you can search it in Google. Yeah, pseudo participation, what is it? You can elaborate more. And then performance-based budgeting. This is the last slide. Okay, performance-based budgeting. Yeah, you formulate the program and budget based on strategic plan. You cannot do planning just only as the same as a previous year. Why you do this? Because the previous year they organized this program. You cannot do that in the performance-based budgeting. You have to look at strategic plan, yeah, and then develop the target. What is the goals? What is the target? What is the annual target? And then based on the target, you can formulate the program and activities. Yeah. Or for example, our target is the more distribution of agricultural product in this village. So that is your goals. What ton the distribution will be sent? For example, you make a target. To do that, you have to make a break. For example, if the bread is not exist yet, you have to repair your route. You have to buy truck, yeah, village government to encourage this program. Then because you have a picture of goals, target, and indicator. You can develop your budget and planning. Yeah. And then the performance indicator as your benchmark. And then every month or biannually, you can cross-check or you can evaluate your performance based on your target. So this concept is quite beneficial, but yeah, as you can see, there are advantages and disadvantages. Number one, advantages, monitor progress over time. Yes, of course, because we have indicator program. Indicator program. We can monitor, evaluate our achievement. For example, if in the mid of year, whether 50% is already reached, yeah, the target. Promote accountability to local community, help drive change. If we get information that our achievement is quite low, it's not in accordance with our schedule or target, we can evaluate soon, isn't it? But of course, there is the advantages. There are some advantages. The first, highlight problem, but not causes or solution. We can get the information about the problem, but we need to go to the ground for investigation to obtain the problem or the causes of the problem, and then we can determine the problem solving. Yeah. And then single indicator cannot provide whole picture, especially for public sector. Yeah, public sector, they have many indicators: financial performance indicators, sustainability performance indicator, service quality performance indicator, value for money performance indicator, and so on and so forth. So many. Yeah. And then it makes complicated. And the last, maybe data intensive. To do that, you need good, synchronized, integrated, harmonized information technology. Yeah. If no, we will meet some difficulties in collecting the data to monitor our performance, to monitor our achievement, and so on and so forth. And it why many universities, many government institutions, they cannot implement performance-based budgeting well. It is because the accounting information system is not established well in terms of, because like this, if we talk about this accounting information system, we don't talk only about the software, right? We discuss also about the acceptance of software. It means that we need to consider the human resource as the users, yeah, hardware, and then the IT governance. Have you heard about the IT governance? IT governance. After this, you have to elaborate about IT governance because it's also your subject. It's your responsible, yeah. It's your responsibility to understand about IT governance. So there are so many issues about accounting that is still become a problem in the village government until today. Yeah, because most of the accounting students after graduate, they don't want to work in village. Yeah, so maybe we can do collaboration with village. You don't need to work in village forever, yeah. But you can help them by joining in the IMBKM program Kampus Merdeka. Yeah, but I don't know whether this scheme is provided in accounting department in UMY. I'm not sure about it. All right, I think that's all discussion about the village government for today. So for today, we just talk about the philosophy and principle, the aims, goals, and so on. And then we focus on the planning. For the next, we talk about the management control system, internal control, performance measurement, reporting, auditing, and quality assurance. So there are so many issues. So I don't believe accounting will be changed by information technology. No, it will cannot. Yeah, because information technology, they cannot determine the participative budgeting. How they regulate the participative budgeting using AI? They cannot. Or establish performance measurement, establish the role model of leadership. Oh, they cannot. But the IT will be will bring benefit for the accountant. But if you cannot comprehend the IT, you cannot become the good accountant now, because the IT is now is necessity for now. Yeah, it's why I talk about the IT governance, IT controls, also COVID 5.0 concept. How what is it? You have to understand about it. And we try to arrange the double degree program accounting in IT. So the title will be SAK, SIT, STI. Yeah, we still in preparation about it, because accounting in IT is a relationship is very close. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for the session. Maybe there is a question from the floor or from the Zoom meeting. Okay. Thank you. Is there any question from the floor? No? From the Zoom? Hello? The voice is come back to me. Okay, because of the time is up, yeah. Okay, we just close the session by saying Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, and I apologize for any shortcoming from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, siap.
Okay, guys.